I bow then and worship your majesty. Who covers himself with light as garments. The heavens declare your majesty. The works of your hands proclaim of your deed. I bow then and worship your majesty. I bow down before the Almighty God, the creator of heaven and the earth, the one who has made today possible for us to be here this morning. I give all glory to him. I want to thank God for your life, my viewers at home, my friends and family, wherever you are this morning. I want to thank God for your life, for God who has been keeping you, protecting you, despite all that has been happening. We return all glory to God Almighty. I welcome you all to Goshen Experience 11. I am still your host, Dr. SolaCymbal, and I have with me a powerful guest that I'll be bringing up on stage very soon. But before I do that, I want to appreciate all my friends and family, all my viewers who has always been joining. You've always been sharing our posts. I want to also encourage you to do more this morning. Just share. As we're streaming both on YouTube and on our Facebook pages, so you can actually share the links, with friends, with people, especially mothers who need to hear this topic that we're going to be talking about this morning. Building positive self-esteem, because we realize the importance of positive self-esteem. And I have with me this morning a specialist in that area who God has prepared for us this moment to speak on building positive self-esteem. But before I invite her and to the podium, I want to also read something about her so that you can know who we're bringing here this morning. All right. Nike OLAMIJUWON AJIBOYE is a child care specialist and American Heart Association basic life support instructor. With over 10 years industry and parenting experience in the early years childcare sector, OLAMIJUWON is a fashion and style consultant with special focus on kids from cradle to early teens. She's the MD of La Creme Holdings with subsidiaries in premium clothing outlets for kids, a popcorn enterprise, a hamper and gift store, a management consulting firm, and a child care safety. She is an international conference and seminar speaker who trains on child abuse, domestic violence, conflict resolution, customer care services, business startup, team build. OLAMIJUWON is a multi-talented entrepreneur with an innovative and intellectual mind. Loving challenges and providing cutting-edge solutions is our motivation. We're so privileged to have this wonderful woman on this platform this morning, and I want you to use this opportunity, bring out your writing pads and make some jottings. Mrs. OLAMIJUWON AJIBOYE, it's a privilege to have you on my platform, Goshen Experience, and I want to welcome you personally to this platform. You're welcome.
Thank you so much. It's such a privilege and honor to be here. I want to say a big thank you to you and every supporter of this great vision. Thank you so very much. I'm excited to be here. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you so much. It's nice having you. Yeah, for some months we have been discussing self-esteem. We realize the importance of self-esteem even in adulthood, and we've discovered that it has a background. There is a link between childhood confidence and what become of us even in adulthood. So I've realized so many emotional or unstable children that we have these days, unstable adults that we have these days, adults that cannot even stand up for themselves, adults that don't even realize who they are and the deposits they have in them. And I discovered that there is a link. If you look into the background of this kind of adults, something must have gone wrong even in their childhood experience. And that is why I've come to invite a specialist in that regard who can talk to us on how to build positive self-esteem in a child? And I'm going to start with this, how is it necessary, is it important to build self-esteem, positive self-esteem in children? Is it important? How important is that?
It's 100% important to build self-esteem in kids, because the shortest definition of self-esteem in children is liking yourself. Like, you just have to like yourself. And how do we make our children to like themselves? It starts from us. And that's the reason we have to build this positive self-esteem in them. We have to make them to like themselves, make them to believe in themselves, make them to be proud of themselves, to be proud of who God has created them to be. So it is, if I can say, it is 110. In fact, I don't even know what to say. It is overly important for us to instill self-esteem in our children.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you. And how do we then do this kind of positive self-esteem in our children?
Okay. The first thing we need to do is to talk to them. Tell them that you are created in the perfect image of God. God has created them because, okay, let me say, my son, I remember a time he came back from school and he told me, he said, "Mom, I'm the shortest boy in my class. That my friends are always calling me shorty, shorty, shorty." And you know what I told him? I said, that anybody that you are created in God's image, that God is exactly like you. So anybody that is tall is too tall. Anybody shorter than you is too short. Anyone that is fatter than you is too fat. Anyone that is slimmer than you is too slim. So I told him, said, so is anybody taller than you? That person is too tall, because you are the perfect image of Christ. And since then, he was so excited just by saying those positive words to him, that you are the best God has created, regardless of your height, regardless of your stature. So he snapped out of it. So it's just talking to them, making them see that okay, somebody has said something about you, but what has God said about you? He said you are made in His own image. Another example. When you ask my children who they are, you will hear, "I'm an internal excellence, I'm a joy of many generations." Before they even say their name, you have to be the one to call them back to say, come, is your name I asked for? I didn't ask for who you are. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's for me, it is words. You have to keep speaking. You have to keep talking to them that, okay, you are this. This is your identity. And sometimes our children are being bullied into who they are not. So our responsibility as parents is to call them back and tell them that, okay, you are this person. This is your surname. Do you understand? This is your name. You are different from A. So it starts with words. It starts with our attitude. It starts with our actions. When they do things, they are kids. Of course, they want to try things out. They want to explore. That's how, they are being created. So it is in our place to use the words of our mouth, to use actions, to tell them and call them back that, no, because A can do this and go scot-free, that doesn't mean that you can do it and go scot-free. Do you understand? Because A is this, you are that, and they become at that point they start what's it called, running away. They start going into their shell. So it is in our place to instill, to help them, talk to them as they go from age 2. Oh, you're beautiful. I used to have a client then that told me how that a child is very, very ugly. And I'm like, "Ma, how can you say a child is ugly?" He said, "No, out of all the children she has, it's just this one. She doesn't look beautiful. She doesn't, it's always complaints and everything." So I said, "Okay, no worry. We're going to take it up." So we started changing. Okay, let me not go much into details. I just want to tell you about power of words. So I said, no child is ugly. No child. In fact, I started a campaign around that time saying no child is ugly. Depending on how, you dress them up, how you talk to them, how you make them to be proud of themselves. Because this child has gone into isolation, like, oh, my mom calls me ugly.
Ugly, wow.
So let me cut it short there, then we'll talk more about it.
Wow. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. As with what you just said, does it mean that even parenting can actually affects our children's self-esteem? Do
Yes.
you agree with me that parenting can actually affect the children's
Yes.
self-esteem? In what way
Yes.
can that happen?
Okay. Unknowingly, we do it a lot. Unknowingly. For example, you have four kids and you have a favorite child. And that favorite child gets praises, gets admiration, gets gifts. And you leave out the other three, or there's one particular one, as they always say, there's one naughty one in the family.
Yes,
There's one,
always.
there's always one naughty one. So you neglect that naughty one because he's always the one breaking things, he's always the one naughty. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
unknowing to us as parents, we kind of, oh, my mom doesn't like me. I'm not loved by my parents because we have that special one. In as much as we're a parent, we have to make conscious efforts to treat them equally. I try. Sometimes I could be, like, okay, my son, because he's a boy. And my girl feels, oh no, mommy, because he's a boy, I do a lot of things for him and her, girly stuff like, we do hair bands, dolls and everything. Boys are toys, heavy things. So since then, I just make it a point of duty that, okay, if I'm getting my son something, even if it's a token, I would get something
For the
for her,
girl too.
just for her not to feel, oh, I'm not being loved as much as my other son is being loved. Then with the words of our mouth, we don't, oh, you get away, you dirty boy, you naughty boy, you, do you understand what I'm saying? So we say a lot of things. Oh, you're ugly. Oh, you're too tall. Oh, you're too skinny. Especially for we parents that have skinny children, or for us that have, how do I say it, small statured kids. We say that a lot. Oh, you don't eat, you don't do, so we start building, we start lowering their self-esteem by saying those words. Unknowingly, we're not doing it knowing that we are harming them. But later, when you sit down to talk, you now found out that all those things that you've said unknowingly, some of us jokingly, oh, you eat too much, you are too fat. Oh, see your belly, you need to go gymming. So even if we say that, we should make a conscious effort to retrace, those words, revert those words, and say, oh, okay, yes, we're all going to the gym together. You can say that I'm fat as well. Okay, so mommy and daughter's day, we can go gymming and all that. So unknowingly, yes, we do. We do that a lot. But it is also on us to, as much as possible as we can, to try and also, as much as we say, oh, you are this, you are that, let's also try and say the positive words as well. Do you understand? So the Yorubas will say, if you use the left hand to correct the child, you use
You
the
use
right
the
hand
other hand
to draw the child closer. So there is a balance. I think where we parents, where we have issues is we don't know how to balance it, and we don't know when to balance it.
balance it. And Sister, do you think that, for instance, a parent who has actually suffered low self-esteem, how do you think such parents will be able to impact the child and build a positive self-esteem in the child? Possibly a parent who has suffered low self-esteem all her life. She couldn't even, parent from based on what I've read, that especially even parents who suffer low self-esteem, they focus more on themselves. They don't even focus more on the children. So for parents who have suffered so much low self-esteem, how can such parents impact the children with positive self-esteem?
The truth of the matter is you can't give what you don't have.
Hmm.
That's the first. You can't give what you don't have. It would only take the grace of God for that parent to snap out of that, to be able to help the child. It
Hmm.
would take the parent to make a conscious effort to say, okay, I've been through this. I didn't get help while I was younger, but I'm going to try and help my child. For parents in that state, I would recommend that they speak out, because they might not be the one to help the child. It might be the teacher in school. It might be the
Hmm.
teacher at church. It might be a sister, a family, a grandparent.
Good.
Because whatever they don't have, they can't give it
Okay.
because they don't even understand. A child will come home and say, "Mom, my friend called me ugly," and the mother will, "Hey, you are ugly before. What's the big deal? Take it and move on." Do you understand? Because she too was
Hmm.
called ugly. So what can she
Hmm.
offer? So a parent in that situation needs to speak out to somebody. You know, you don't even need to go far. A church, Sunday school teacher, a principal in school, a class teacher, you know, somebody close that can talk to the child. You know, especially youth. They have mentors, they have youth church, they have, you know, they have student reps that can talk to them. So that's the only advice I can give to parents like that. And also those kind of parents, they also need to speak out to work on themselves.
Mm. Okay. So it means that the parents should first of all work on ourselves or himself before, because you can't give what you don't actually have. If you don't have it, there is no how you'll be able to give it. That's good. And if you don't have it, work on yourself as a parent and seek help. You know, seek help. That's nice. That's nice. But you know, it's becoming so engaging. Added to the VOG, I can see you here. Okpeyemi Igbailo, I can see you, Charles. In fact, he has asked question. Abby Williams. Oh, I can see questions. We're coming to those questions very soon. I can see some questions popping up here. We're going to attend to the questions very soon. So, but before I go to a question, I still have some other things I want us to discuss. You know, here. How do you identify that your child has low self-esteem? You know, at times we parents don't even see ourselves. We can only look at other people's children when our own children too are suffering the same thing. So how do we identify that our child has low self-esteem so that we can tackle it on time?
Okay, the first thing to watch out for is self-isolation. You know, when a child doesn't want to talk, they don't want to relate with anybody, they don't want to make friends because perhaps of what the friend that spoken to them about, you know, so they go into their shell. They are not the friendly type. They don't want to answer questions. They are not bold. You know, you're doing presentation in school. Oh, John, come and do this presentation, and your child is saying, no, 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 I don't want to, mommy, you know, just hiding. You know, when they just want to hide, they're not ready to come out. So you start noticing all those traits. You start noticing all those traits from there. They don't want to talk. They don't want to converse. You know, even when you give compliments, they don't even take the compliments like, oh, really? Oh, I'm handsome. You know, you say, oh, what a cute boy. You
Are
know,
you
a
sure?
boy said to me, I think like some weeks back, I said, do you know you're very, very handsome? And the boy looked at me like, what's she saying? You know, that's what she's saying. So he doesn't even believe himself that he's a cute boy. So those signs you should watch out for it when a child just, I just want to be on my own. I don't want to talk. I don't want to do any presentation. I don't want to do anything. I just want to be on my own.
In fact, that actually reminds me of what happened in my, you know, home recently. I told my youngest baby to pray, 3-year-old, 3 years old rather. I said, Philip, can you just pray for us? And said, mommy, I'm too young, I can't pray. I said, no, you can pray. He said, do you think I can pray? I said, yeah, you can pray. Just say it. What we just like in Jesus, how we normally start. He said, I will pray very well. Yes, you can pray very well. You can do it. So these children at times they try to identify, and you know that self-identification comes as early as, in fact, it's earlier than we think, and we need to, you know, in and help them build their confidence as early as possible. Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, OLAMIJUWON, and I have something here that I've actually thought about. Is there a link between a child's self-esteem and mental health? Can a child's self-esteem affect our mental health?
It's in
Can it
fact,
affect our mental health?
yes, is intertwined. Because if your self-esteem is low, you don't believe in yourself, you are always on the negative edge. So before you know it, you know, we have a child, I think age 6, that fell into depression. So as
Age
little as,
6?
yes, as young as they are, if we don't work on their self-esteem, it's going to degenerate into something else that we won't be able to handle. And that's the
Hmm.
truth. We won't be able to handle it. So it is a very tiny how do I say, like a tiny link between low self-esteem affecting
Hmm.
mental health. If you don't have a positive or good self-esteem, then it's going to degenerate into something else that we won't be able to handle. So the earlier
Hmm.
I tackle the issue of low self-esteem, the better for us. Before it goes into depression, oh, I'm not loved, or there's nothing I know how to do right. You know, especially with our girls. You know, we are all guilty as mothers. With our girls, we put a lot of pressure on them.
On
Oh,
them.
you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do this, you have to do that. I remember telling my daughter that you have to be eloquent. You know, just be, just
Express
be eloquent.
yourself like your
Just be,
mom.
yeah, just be eloquent and posh. You know, my husband had to call me to her that, Madam, calm down. Calm down, you know, because I was just expecting so much because a girl, a first girl, and you're like, oh no, no, you just have to be posh. You don't sit like this, you don't eat this way, you don't talk like that, you fix your mouth when you're done eating, you know, all those expectations. You know, but it took my husband to call me to order because I didn't even realize I was doing it. I was putting a lot of pressure because she's a girl. I want her to be this, I want her to be that, and all that. So, but if I didn't stop at the time that I stopped, maybe you know it would have I would have affected what's it called now our esteem in a
Escalated.
negative way.
Yeah. Mm, mm. So parents at home, you know, there is a link between child and the mental health. So that's why we have a lot of children who do self-harm. They harm themselves. They fall into depression, emotional instability. Some of them cannot even withstand anything. That's why we have a lot of, you know, issues even in marriage these days because the children don't expect any form of, you know, instability in life. And once they see that instability in life, they can't just balance it up. So parents, we have a lot to do to build our children self-esteem. Now, because I don't want to, I want to try as much as possible to attend to some of the questions we have because of our time. Charles Ibe asks that it just appears to me that mothers are very crucial in the building of self-esteem in children since they are closer to them. But why is it that women are prone to use of abusive language?
Well, maybe because we are close to them. The truth of the matter is, we do it, like I said it before, we do it unknowingly. No
Mm,
parent, except a parent that is not mentally sound, would want to do anything to hurt his or
the
her child.
child.
Do you understand? A child, sorry, pardon. Do you understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
if a parent is not mentally sane or mentally sound, then there could be possibility of abuse, physical abuse. And that's how it starts. From one little word, oh, you're stupid, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, to another. Do you understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
from it starts from there. Do you get so? But it's not natural that we would want to hurt them with the words of our mouth. It is not natural. But because we are close to them, and sometimes we get overwhelmed. We get overwhelmed. Oh, we've done this, we've done the dishes, we've
Mm,
cleaned, we've tidied up, we've done this, and you've told them to do something. Like I say, you can tell kids to do something 100 times and they will still do it. So, you know, sometimes you just get, oh, you're this, you're that, so it's kind of like a transferred aggression. But I
mm,
think parents now, we're working on it, we're taking conscious effort to work on it, to mind the words of our mouth, to mind our action. Yes, to mind our action. Because, you know, we growing up, we didn't see anything bad in that. You know, our parents would abuse us and, well, we still turned out, you know, good. But now it's another, you know, generation entirely. It's a jet age that things are changing. A child will Google, what's it called? A Yoruba word. You know what I'm saying in Yoruba?
yeah.
If you want to put a child in Yoruba, a child will go and Google what that
Google the
means.
meaning. Know what it means. Yeah.
Meaning, you know, so you know, while we were growing up, then we didn't know the meaning. You know, like when we're growing up, we used to do the five hand. I don't want to do that on screen. You know, the five hand that we do while we're young. You know,
Yeah.
so if you do that now, they'll probably laugh. But then if you do it to somebody, then it's a major thing. So it's where it's a new generation. So, but then
Mm.
parents, I would want to say let's try. It's tough, especially mothers. Let's try to be careful with the words of our mouth, with our actions when we're dealing with our children.
Mm, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ms. Joan. I love that. Yeah, another question here is that can bullying lead to low self-esteem in children?
Sorry,
You
say
know,
that again.
can bullying, when you bully a child, can it lead to low self-esteem? You know, a lot of children say that in school these days. You know, many couple of times I've seen my son will come home and tell me something. This person said this and that. I say that is bullying. Do you want me to? I have to step in on time. So can this lead to low self-esteem in our children?
Yes, it does. It does because when they get bullied and it gets out of place, then they probably feel they are good for nothing. You know, anybody's going to bully them. So it is the onus is on us to talk to them, to talk them out of bullying. Don't bully others, and also don't allow anybody to bully you. If they bully you, go and report. Nobody should tell
Yes.
you, don't tell. You know, it starts from if you tell, I'm going to break your bottle, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. You know, so it starts from weak parents that, you know what, you shouldn't bully. The first thing to take to say to our kids, do not bully. Even if you're being bullied, go and report. But learn to stand up for yourself and tell them no. Stand no. Like I said, no. Don't take my pencil. Do not attack anybody. Go and report. First report, second report, third report, then you come home, then we can now talk to the other parents that okay, your son and my son, they're having clashes or this and that. And sometimes the bully comes from high school students, those kids that are
Yeah.
older than them, not even their mates, even the elder ones and the younger ones. The older and the younger. The older will bully the younger
The young.
one. Sometimes it's the other way around. I have a friend that has three boys, and the little one bullies the older ones. So but the onus is still on us to make sure that we talk them out of it. Do not bully, and when you're being bullied, report. Do not act. Do not fight for yourself, but stand up for yourself sternly and
Yeah.
say no. No is no. I'm not taking this. I'm not tolerating this. I will go and report.
Mm. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So we can hear, because of our time, I'm not going to say much on that anymore. Mr. Charles is here that the ingredients that are foundation to building of self-esteem in children are patience and emotional intelligence. Yeah, we acknowledge that. Thank you so much. We know patience and emotional intelligence are key words that actually helps children's self-esteem. Please, mothers, take note of that, and parents generally, not just mother now, both fathers and
Yes,
mothers should
yes.
take note of that. Another question here is that when and how do parents draw the line between chastising a child and self-esteem?
Okay, that's a very tricky one because sometimes we switch, we switch. Okay, when
Mm,
you chastise, when you correct, is different from self-esteem. Like you want to instill a
like
positive
destroy the
self-esteem.
self-esteem.
Yes, you want to discipline them. Okay, you did this because you're not going to have this because you did this and this and that. It's different from you are not good. You are very
Mm,
ugly. You don't know anything. You are a dull skull or non-skull. You are so daft. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the
yes, yes,
punishment
yes.
is different. Don't do this again. If you do this again, you're going to get, to time out. You're not going to have chocolate. You're not going to watch the iPad. You're not going to. It's clearly different. But when we start using words like, oh, you are good for nothing, you're not going to amount to anything, you ugly thing, so there are two different things. And I realize that sometimes we tend to, when we are angry, we tend to shift into saying the negative words. And trust me, those words, they don't leave.
Mm,
They don't leave
mm.
them here. So we have to be very careful,
Very
very, very,
careful.
very careful with the words of our mouth when we are disciplined and when we want to correct them.
Correct them. So we should correct them in love. You can correct in love. Someone is saying here, Omola leader. Oh, sometimes our younger children are more expressive. Let's not shut them up because they talk too much. You may just be killing a talent in them. Do you agree with that?
Yes, I do. I do. But sometimes we need to watch it. It's not every time we allow them to talk. They
Mm,
talk to us. Sometimes we just allow our children to just, even when they're outside, and there's no balance. When they
yeah,
want to talk and we are busy, okay, give me 5 minutes. What I've learned over time is I work a lot on the screen. And when I'm on the screen, I'm typing and I'm doing my work. And my daughter will say, "Oh, mommy doesn't have my time." But no, that's not true, because that is my work. Because they don't see me wear my suit, my blazer, and go and report to office 9 to 5. They feel once I'm on the screen, I'm probably playing, but I'm running my business. So she wants to talk to me. She said, "Oh, mommy doesn't have my time." Okay, so over time, I realized that okay, I need to actually what they want is eye contact. What they actually want is my attention. So I go, okay, give me 5 minutes. I'm gonna be done. So I put whatever I'm doing down, and I'm like, okay, you have me now. So let's go about it. Yeah, so that we can talk. And when we are outside, we use eye contact. If she's talking too much or I'm not comfortable, I just look at her. I look at them, and they know that okay, I've said something I'm not meant to say. So it's time to stop. Yeah.
Yeah, there will always be a way to control, to balance life. Even if you're so expressive, you learn to
Yeah.
balance it. There are some places our children shouldn't talk, and there are places they need to talk. So
They need to.
that's good. Yeah, thank you so much. We're actually running out of time, but before you go, I wanted to just give us the basic tips we can use as parents to build, just brief tips to build positive self-esteem in our children. The tips.
Okay, the first tip is to love them and to be very patient with them. All the patience, you have to ask for extra grace to be patient and encourage them when they're doing well. Don't over encourage them. When a
Good.
child cannot spell properly, don't tell them that, oh, you are the best in spelling. When a child is not a good footballer, don't say to that child that, oh, you are the greatest of the greatest of the greatest footballer in the world. Let us tell them the way it is in a loving way, and also let us make them know that regardless of whatever it is, whether you've done bad or you've done good, I am your number one fan, whether it's the mother or the father, so that they can come back to us in their low moments, in their happy moments, and we will be there to celebrate and rejoice with them.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And in addition to that, mothers, like you allow your children to make their choices too, even right from their childhood, give them the opportunity to make their choices. Don't be overprotective of them. Allow them to take some risk, healthy risks. And when you do that, they'll be able to grow and let them be able to take a responsibility for whatever they do. If it works out well, good for them. And if it doesn't work out well for them, then help them to to work on it or whatever
Yes,
is happening.
yes,
Oh,
yes.
thank you
Correct.
so much. Thank you so much, Juwan Ajiboye, for coming. Matter, and on. I appreciate you. Yes, eye contact to bring children up. I know then in the olden days when parents give you eye contact like this, you behave
Ah,
yourself. Now the children will be telling you now that mommy, what happened to
mommy,
your
is there
eyes?
something in your eye?
Cultural labs. But we thank God. God is helping us. God is helping us. God is helping us. We have learned so much today with you. This is Juwon. Olamijuwon. I love that name. Olamijuwon Ajiboye. Thank you so much for
Thank
coming and
you.
for sharing from your wealth of experience with us on how to help our children become better adults. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We
So,
appreciate you. We hope that when next we call on you, you're going to
oh,
respond to our call.
yes, I will be here. I will be here.
Thank you so much. Do you have a word for us, for all our fans, for all SolaCymbal fans? Do you have a word for them?
I just want to say thank you to all the fans of Dr. Chella Symbol. Thank you for staying through and through with her. Please, if you haven't liked our page, if you haven't shared our post, please do so. Do so. I don't miss it. And whenever I miss this tour, I go to a playback to watch it and to learn things on so many things that she has shared, esteem in adults, in parents, and it's a lot of things. So I want to encourage you to keep loving our page, keep sharing our page. And I want to say thank you for staying through and through and through with this brand. God bless you.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much. And to my viewers at home, thank you for joining. Thank you for all your comments, all the time of your encouragement. If you still ask further questions, feel free to share them with me. I'm going to send them across to Olamijuwon and she's going to respond to them and I'll get the response across to you. Thank you so much for this Goshen experience this month. It's been fun. with OLAMIJUWON. I love you. Thank you so much to my fans at home. God bless you. I love you. See you next month. Next month is another, the last Saturday of every month is Goshen Experience. Looking forward to seeing you there. Thank you. God bless you. All right. Bye, my guests.
Bye.
Bye.